Oh, we got that new hype music. Oh, baby.
I've been dancing every time we enter the show with this thing lately. It's fantastic.
Man, that
And
was
with
good stuff.
Clayton Kershaw coming in at the end.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Hey, raise your hand if you were prominently featured in that intro. You know what? You deserve it, bud. You deserve it. That was cool. I like that. We got this new program that we're using, what is it, StreamYard or something, and our production team, they're always pushing it, trying new things, trying to make the show better. So kudos to them as always, and kudos to you two, joined by the sharpest minds in the biz. One, Mr. Dave Potts, aka Cheese is good. What up, Cheese?
Well, yeah. Good morning. It's one of these days with baseball all day, so I've been up since super early, writing multiple articles, and but it's two pretty good slates. Yeah, it'll be a good day.
Hey, real quick, where I'm going backwards here, but like a week ago we had one of these, and one of the games, it wasn't in the slate, but one of the games is at like 10:30 Eastern or something stupid. What was that?
Yeah, they've thrown in several though, and like every Sunday there's been like a 10:30 Eastern game, like just one, and yeah, a couple Wednesdays ago there was one. Luckily we didn't get that today, but yeah, they've been throwing in some very early games.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't know what that was all about. Well, we will break down everything that we do have on this slate in just a little bit. Split slate. I feel like there's maybe even 3.
Yeah, it's double Fanduels early with one DraftKings. Yeah,
right. So we've got that going on, and then of course we're joined by TJ, the man, the myth, the Spidey Bomb legend. What's up, Tej?
Doing pretty well. Happy to be on a little morning show with you guys. I figure maybe if I wear my FanDuel t-shirt long enough, I'll get featured in the intro video as well. I don't have any RG swag yet, like Cheese has got on, but we'll get it in. And then, but yeah, it's I'm ready to talk about this slate. I was telling Cheese before we began, I have a pitcher that my only goal of the show is to just convince him to play him. So there we are.
Wow, does Cheese know the pitcher yet?
I told him not to tell me till live.
Okay,
so like
great.
if it's like a what, and I have to laugh or whatever, then I can do it live.
Good.
I'm open. I love it though. Like that,
yeah. That was definitely the right choice. All right, I'm excited for that reaction. Anything that I'm missing? I feel like there was something I was going to say, something that we're missing, but no, we're going to get into it. Cheese, you want to talk about the overall outlook here? Oh, I know. Whoa, pause this. Whoa, pause it. I know what we're missing. You're going to get fired if I don't say what I have to say.
Yeah, obviously. Do your job, please.
I felt like I was missing something. What's going on here? Hang on. I gotta get the wording right, because otherwise I get fired. This is FanDuel sponsored Crunch Time, guys. New users getting a special bonus. You bet $5, you get $200 back in free bets, regardless of if that bet wins or loses. If you follow us on Scores and Odds and you follow my bets, you will win, because that's how I roll. I just give you the weather winners. It's what I'm doing over there on Scores and Odds, so make sure you check it out. We got a PGA Twitter space thing happening tonight. Cards, Noto, some others. That happens at 7 Eastern. Cheese and I do not know what this Twitter Spaces thing is all about, but it seems cool.
Outer space.
Yes, I believe it happens in outer space. So check that out. That should be good. Also, today is the second day of the FanDuel back-to-back home run contest, where if you had someone in the marquee contest in FanDuel and they hit a home run, all you need is to join the marquee contest on FanDuel today and have them hit a home run. And it doesn't even have to be the same dude. It can be any dude. And then you win a share of $25K. So that's some pretty nice stuff going on there. Now that I've said that, Cheese, now that I will not get fired, we can talk about the slate in general.
Yeah. Okay. So big picture, we got 6 games on DraftKings, and then FanDuel has 2 different 3-game slates. So I'm mostly going to talk the DraftKings slate with all 6 games, and then TJ is going to talk where the differences are for the 2 different FanDuel slates. Basically, there are no great pitchers. There's a bunch of like kind of okay pitchers, but there's not a single pitcher on this slate that you can't stack against. So every offense is absolutely in play. We do have some best plays and some chalk, kind of led by the Phillies. But really, 12 offenses are absolutely in play. And we're still waiting on several lineups. Reds, Giants, Twins, Mariners, even the Marlins in the early game. So we may not even have lineups. But basically, don't feel like you're too far off the board with anything. There's not a single thing, pitcher or hitter, that's wildly off the board because there's nothing like super great.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. I actually want to let TJ start with pitchers because I feel like worst case scenario is you say TJ's pitcher and then it removes all the fun about the pitcher he wants to. So to avoid that, I think TJ should start with pitchers and hold off your secret pitcher till the end, TJ. Unless you just think he's the dude and you want to talk about him right off the bat.
The year was 2022. TJ Zwarich has started working at RotoGrinders. The baseball season kicks off. There's no home runs. Everybody's pissed. There's just no runs. So what do? We call up Spidey. He writes a nice letter to Rob Manfred, and we got home runs. We got hits. We got hard hit balls that are getting out of the park and not turning into fly balls. Maybe it's the weather.
Yeah, maybe it's
it's the letter that Spider-Man sent to Rob Manfred, though.
We don't know. One of the two.
We don't know. We'll never know. It's unquantifiable.
Right.
Weather Edge doesn't exist. Spider-Man does. We know about this.
I don't mean to break you in the middle of your rant, but I do find it kind of funny that everyone was so salty about no home runs in the early part of the year when every game was 50 degrees for like a month. And now all of a sudden there's all these home runs and nobody's complaining anymore. It's almost like weather matters, guys.
Almost. Not as much as letters from fictional superheroes to the commissioner of baseball.
It didn't actually happen. Yes, correct.
Yes. A and B.
Yeah.
Now, finally, we're getting runs. But throughout this season, there's been some magic. Now, the month is June. Entering the month of June, how many pitchers do you think there has been, Kevin, since 1893 who have begun their career with 7 straight starts, tossing 5 innings, so qualifying for their win, tossing 5 innings, and allowing no more than 2 runs? How many pitchers since 1893
I think it only happened once.
Done that?
I think it was Babe Ruth.
2 people.
Oh, okay.
2 people. I don't know who they are, but 2 people.
Okay.
It is now mid-June, and there has been a 3rd person to start his career that way.
Oof.
And his name is Alex Fado.
Ooh, cheese? Yeah, I as soon as TJ started talking, I knew where he was going, and I'm totally on board. Like, he's not. I don't love him. Like, I'm not playing him ahead of the top 4 guys. But I absolutely agree. He's a good pitcher. He's clearly not a great pitcher. Like, you can't just be lucky forever when you're getting hit hard and in the air. But it is absolutely true that he has not allowed runs.
And the one thing I'll say, the reason I do really like him today, I'm not saying this is the next big thing, next Jacob deGrom, nothing like that. The reason I really like him today is we got a small, ugly slate with some very concentrated ownership. In his career so far, he's in a very limited sample size, obviously. He's shown a way, way better strikeout rate to right-handed batters than left-handed batters. Plate IQ shows us he's striking out 13.4% of lefties. He's striking out 24.6% of right-handed batters. The only left-handed batter today in the White Sox lineup is Yoan Moncada.
Every single, the worst hitter in baseball right now.
Exactly. Every single other batter in their lineup is right-handed. So you're not looking at a guy with a 18% strikeout rate like most people are looking at him. You're looking at a guy with a 25% strikeout rate. Maybe we can't count on it because obviously it's a super small sample size. But in a tiny gross slate on Fanduel and on DraftKings where he's nice and cheap and not picking up any ownership, I like it a lot for tournaments.
Okay. All right. Any other, you want to give me a general thought here, some of your other plays, TJ, outside of that?
So I'm only running the one lineup on Fanduel today, so that's why I'm going pretty hard with him. But other than that, like, I kind of figured I'd go with my hot take on that one and kind of let Cheese cover it from there because that is really my only one that stands out for me today. Everything else is just kind of looking about right. I want the top pitchers. I'll get them in there. But Alex Fado is, if I was playing more lineups, that is. But Alex Fado is kind of my stand in compared to the field today.
Okay. Cheese, you don't think it's crazy? I don't know. I looked at the points that he's had despite doing so well and not allowing runs. Like, he hasn't scored a lot of points either when you pulled up his game log.
Yeah. So the thing I'll say about it is this is the right slate to play a guy like that, even if he's really not that good.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he's really not that good. Like, the ERA is wildly fluky.
Yeah.
But so if you go with what TJ said, which I like, it's basically all righties. Him versus righties, if you take his skill set right now, he's basically the exact same pitcher as Castillo, Gallen, Garcia, and Gibson, who are the 4 pitchers we're playing. So I'm fine with it because you're getting a, I don't know, we're showing ownership, 30, 40% on those other guys and like 5% on Fado, which I think is where it will be.
Yeah.
So yes, today is the kind of day because you're not passing on a guy who's an ace. There are no 30% strikeout pitchers here that you're passing on. Totally good with it. I think it's a good time to take that shot. What I'm seeing though is what TJ said with the splits for Fado are even better for Kyle Gibson. Gibson against righties is even better, and we've got more sample size. And it's the same situation. Miami has 2 lefties, but Gibson against righties has 28% strikeouts, low walks, 53% ground balls, doesn't get hit hard in the air, where Fado gets hit in the air. So I'm just playing Gibson, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not crazy, and it wouldn't take some crazy outlier for Fado to be the better pitcher. But for me, Gibson is the 1, Castillo is the 2, Louis Garcia and Zach Gallen are tied for the 3, and then Fado is the 5.
And on DK, I assume there is a DK slate happening, right? I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
Where
So
do you view Sonny Gray and all that?
0. He is supposed to be limited to 60 pitches. To me, he's not playable at all.
Geez, can I play both of those cheaper guys? Can I play? I want Gibson because you like him, and I want Fado because he's cheap and TJ likes him. Can I do that and have all the money? And
Fado is not cheap.
He's 7.6. Is that not cheap?
Well, Gibson's 7, Castillo's 8.2. So no.
Okay.
That's the thing. So like it's
cheap.
really on cash games optimal to me, especially on DraftKings. Like it's Castillo, Gibson. Like for ownership aside, like without a doubt, it's them. I like the Fado to get different in tournaments, but it's definitely, I agree with Cheese there. It's Castillo and Gibson for me. I'd have Fado ahead of Luis Garcia personally, but it's Castillo and Gibson is definitely your cash optimal single entry type stuff.
Gotcha.
And let me just throw out there on Sonny Gray. I'm saying 60 pitches. It could be 70. He's been out for almost a month and threw nothing but a 30 pitch simulated game to get ready. So like to me, he's totally off the board.
Yeah.
And then like you could play Marco Gonzalez, but just there's just no need for it. Like salary doesn't exist on this slate. Like the most expensive pitcher is 9.2 on DraftKings, and he's only like the 4th best guy. So you don't need to mess around with cheap pitching.
Should we?
I would say for me the optimal pairing is Castillo Gibson.
Yeah. All right. You want to talk a few stacks here?
Chalk is the Phillies, and they're the top stack. But like I said at the top, it's all really very close. I would go Astros 2, Giants 3, Twins 4. But really, White Sox, Tigers, Rangers, D-backs, Reds, Mariners, everything. You can play the Marlins. You can play whoever I didn't name. You can play all of them. But to me, the Phillies are the best team. And while they're chalk, you can spread it out and play. Like the bottom of their lineup is very much in play. And I think leaving salary is one of the best things you can do. just so you're not playing the same lineup as everybody else. And you're really not losing any upside because there's only a couple of guys to spend up for, and they're not all going to hit 2 homers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. TJ, some of your favorite stacks?
Yeah, so I'm going to focus on FanDuel and on the early slate because that's the one that we have locking in 15 minutes here. And the other one we don't got to worry about for a while. We can talk about after lock. So on this small 3-game slate, we have Philly kind of stands to me as the top stack with Houston right behind them. And then you can basically sprinkle in whoever you want. Now, Houston and Philly are going to be quite chalky on FanDuel. But since I'm playing Faedo, I don't have to worry about that as much. Sure. Rhys Hoskins is the top bat on the slate. And like the whole stack is interesting. I personally, I like getting to the lefties, hoping they're not going to be quite as highly owned as some of these Houston bats. And Houston is the team I'm looking to get off of, I think, if I'm picking one to get off of between Houston and Philly. I'm mixing in some Detroit players just because I always like picking on Vince Velasquez. Jazz Chisholm is one of my favorite tournament options on the slate. They don't have a high total, but he's a phenomenal hitter. And we talked about how Gibson isn't near as good against lefties as he is righties. So Jazz Chisholm's kind of one of my favorite options outside of a stack there. And then it goes Philly, Houston, Detroit, Chicago for me. Okay. Actually, not Chicago. I'm not playing any Chicago.
Okay. I'm just noticing here on Lineup HQ, it says floor, and some of these guys have a floor of like 3. Geez, that's a little silly, right? Isn't the floor for anyone in baseball? Isn't it a goose egg? Doesn't that happen all the time?
Yeah. Like, so again, and you've heard me say this, like projections do not mean anything in baseball. Yeah. Like that's not a real thing. Floor is 0. You're correct. Yes.
Yeah. I've played Mike Trout and he's gotten me 0 many a times. I'm pretty sure his floor is 0.
Yes. You cannot have a floor above 0 if you're using that term literally.
Right. Yeah.
And 2 things I want to get in quick before just looking at the YouTube chat. We got 136 people watching. As soon as we get 50 likes, we'll hit that Spidey bomb. So hit the like button. We got free content courtesy FanDuel. We got Cheese, Roth, and I up nice and early today breaking down the slate. So make sure you hit the like button. And people are also wondering, Roth, what's the best hitting weather in this early slate?
Oh, I mean, the best hitting weather is definitely Chicago. In the early slate, give me 1 second and I'll let you know. In the meantime, let's go position by position here. Cheese, you want to start us off with catcher?
Yeah, I do. And I want to say one thing. I got up so early and wrote essentially 2 different articles today. I got Sonny Gray's timeline confused with Jack Flaherty's timeline, who's pitching later tonight. Flaherty's the one who like is going to max out at 60 pitches no matter what. Like Sonny Gray theoretically could throw 70 or 80. Gotcha. I'm still like I have 0. I would have 0 and 150, but I was getting him mixed up because I've been up way too many hours and it's not even noon. So I apologize for that. Okay, so position by position. Catcher wise, we're still waiting on a Twins lineup. I'm assuming Gary Sanchez plays, and he would be my favorite play at the position. Varsho and Sal Perez are both good spend ups, and I think it's a pretty good day to spend up at catcher. I do like Stubbs if you're doing a little bit of a wraparound Philly stack, but otherwise, I like spending up at catcher.
Okay, TJ, catcher thoughts, and then I'll talk some brief weather here in the early slate.
You don't have to play any of them on FanDuel. Jonah Heim in a stack. He's batting 5th. If you want to run a Texas stack, I'm okay with it, but you don't have to play any catchers today on FanDuel.
Okay. The weather is just phenomenal in Philly and in Detroit, like for hitting. It's mid-80s in Philly, mid-90s in Detroit. The winds are blowing in Detroit, but I mean, that's some home run hitting weather there. So they're both really good. I like them both. TJ, first base.
Yeah, so first base, you got Rhys Hoskins is probably your top on FanDuel. You're probably your top hitter on the slate, 3,400. He's way too cheap, and he's in a great spot. We are currently projecting Jose Abreu with similar rostership to him. If that is the case, I just absolutely adore getting to Rhys Hoskins over Jose Abreu today. I am a little bit interested in Texas for GPPs. So whether a stack or just a couple one-offs, Nathaniel Lowe would probably be my 3rd guy there for me. But other than that, it's really just a Rhys Hoskins position.
Yeah. Rhys, like at 4-1, I don't know anything about baseball, but that just seems too cheap for that dude, right?
It
Big
is.
time.
Yeah. All right.
He hit like 7 more home runs yesterday or something.
Right, yeah. Cheese first base, please.
Just random aside, like, I don't know. It seems a little, I don't know, cocky or something that Nate Lowe has gone to Nathaniel Lowe. Like, how special am I? Nathaniel
Did
Lowe?
he?
I don't know. We still show Nate Lowe on the lineup page, but most of the time when I see it, it's Nathaniel Lowe. I feel like he wanted more respect. But yeah,
he lost it. He lost respect is what he did. He had a cool name, Nate, like Nate Dogg.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he's Nathaniel.
Yeah, Hoskins is the guy, and he's going to be the most popular by far. Weird DraftKings pricing that you don't need is Jesus Aguilar at 2K, but you don't need it because you got Hoskins and Abreu, you got Brandon Belt back in the lineup. Votto's interesting. I think that Cincinnati Arizona game will be completely forgotten, and you don't have to stack it, though you can. But either Votto or Walker are always interesting one-offs.
Can I tell you a quick funny story about yesterday?
Please do.
I ran 150 yesterday. I want to take a quick victory lap because I was talking about other pitchers to play like Pivetta and Bassett and Webb as opposed to Garrett Cole. So just a quick victory lap there. But the negative thing is I was running through lineup HQ and I accidentally pressed the X button on Jesus Aguilar yesterday, and I thought, it's Jesus Aguilar. I don't have to add him back in. And then he had like 60 on Fanduel and like 45 on DraftKings or something. It was ridiculous. So that was a big regret.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy how many first basemen scored like 82 points yesterday.
Yeah, somebody else had like a home run in the first and third inning.
Well, Goldschmidt
Goldie
put up like a 50 spot or something. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Second base, we're running a little bit behind, so let's speed it up just a touch.
Okay. Jazz Chisholm is great. Even if you're playing Gibson, play some Jazz.
He's got some swag. I don't mean to slow you down after I said speed it up, but I saw a clip of him where the ump was telling him to get back in the box, and he told the ump like, "No, I get in the box when I want." And then he got in the box, and on the next pitch, just went yard and like kind of stared at him. It was sick.
Yeah. So he's quite simply the only second baseman I care to play outside of a stack.
Okay, TJ.
Yep, add Harold Castro to that list for me on FanDuel, and then I agree.
Okay, third base.
Yeah, so third base on FanDuel, Castro is another guy I like there as well. You can play him at second or third, and that's Harold I slightly prefer over Willie just because he's batting second instead of sixth. Up top, you got Alex Bregman. I think he's probably going to be the most popular guy on FanDuel. And that's why I like going to somebody like Castro there instead. But you got Bregman as your top play, and I like Castro down low.
Okay, Cheese.
On DraftKings, Alec Bohm is way too cheap, 33, and he'll be the most popular play there, probably over Bregman, although it'll be close. The guy who will get forgotten that I kind of like is Suarez.
Okay. Cheese, take us to wherever we're supposed to be.
Shortstop, it's Corey Seager, even if you're playing Garcia, I like. Carlos Correa. Those are the two main guys. And then I would say, don't forget Bobby Witt and Brandon Crawford. That's another sort of overlooked game. Crawford's cheap if you need it, but again, salary barely comes into play. And Seager's my favorite guy overall.
Okay. TJ, short.
Yeah, so Jazz Chisholm, you can play it second or short here. To me, it's Chisholm, Seager, or Gregorius in a Philly stack, and those are the only three guys I'm looking at.
All right, that brings us to the wonderful outfield position.
Your top Phillies guys, as well as Yordan Alvarez, are going to be the highest owned. You got Bryce Harper, Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Schwarber. There, you have all the salary in the world, and everybody's going to be playing them. On the cheaper end, and they're great plays. On the cheaper end, you got Nick Castellanos, who I really like, and a lot of people are going to be going to the White Sox. That's going to be where I'm going away from. Kyle Tucker, Michael Brantley. I'd personally rather be going to these guys than the White Sox. And my favorite cheapie for GPPs is going to be Cole Calhoun.
All right. Outfield?
So
Not squirrel. Good Lord.
whatever.
Jeez.
That's actually a pretty big compliment. So I'll
Yeah.
total difference between the sites is the pricing on the White Sox. So like the Lewis Robert price will make him chalk on FanDuel, but on DraftKings, he's up priced with Buxton well ahead of guys like Castellanos and Tucker. So you actually get different by playing Robert on DraftKings. It's just like a totally mixed up scenario. Buxton is the good chalk, and Castellanos at 4,200 is the just underpriced. Kind of got to play him in an optimal lineup. From there, I'm just kind of messing around. I think Jesus Sanchez, I like a lot for his price. I think Harper and Schwarber won't get what they deserve because it's a lefty starting, but it's just really a bullpen game. So just playing Harper and Schwarber shouldn't seem to be different, but I think getting both of them in the same lineup does help you differentiate.
Okay,
straight up on FanDuel, where they're only $100 apart, who do you like better between Alvarez and Schwarber? Because that's something I'm wondering, and I'm sure there's kind of a lot of people in the same spot with that one.
Definitely Alvarez for me.
Okay. Guys, let's play a little. You get one stack. Who's your stack? Cheese?
Chalk Phillies.
TJ? Chalk Phillies, but you've got a weird pitcher, so who cares?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. Let's take a few questions here. We've got 4 minutes until lock. Travis
14
Daniels.
likes from the Spidey Bomb.
Oh, hey, we're only 10 likes from a home run pick. So if you're watching on the YouTube, hit that like button for us so we can get a little Spidey Bomb. Travis says, hey, Cheese, will Sean Higel pitch 5 innings, or is that a bullpen game?
I can't even find anything that says Sean Higeli is pitching. We're showing him pitching, and I wrote him up in the article. But I'm looking to see if something has been said. I don't even know. I don't know if he's pitching 1 inning, much less 5. But I'm seeing if we have more clarification here.
If he were to pitch 1 inning, do you think he would pitch 5?
Yes, absolutely. If he's pitching, he's the primary pitcher. I'm not sure why we still show him as the guy. I'm not sure that he's in the game.
Okay, great. TJ, good job. He was already asking. TJ, you almost asked the question that Frank was thinking. Alvarez or Harper on FanDuel?
For Cheese, what do you think?
Still Alvarez.
Still Alvarez? I just changed my lineup so that I get to play all 3.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good lineup.
Screw Nick Castellanos. He's going to hit a home run now when the announcer is saying something negative.
Let's see. Eric says, hey, TJ, correlation is more important than worrying about how much salary is left, correct?
Yes, especially on a small slate.
Great.
I'd say on a big slate where there's lots of good options, I'd typically rather would just use that salary to add a better home run hitter. But on a small slate like this, yeah, especially because that could be our only way to get different.
Okay, let's go to Kirk's question. He says, Cheese, FanDuel, Edman?
That's a different slate, so come back tonight for that one.
Okay. Miami stack and a DK GPP, Cheese?
Yeah.
Bayou Bengal, which I think that means LSU Tigers. Is that correct? Bayou Bengals?
That's what they call them.
Is it? Yeah. All right. Look at me. Back. Hey, is it a bad idea to play Gallen and Castillo together on DK?
It is not at all.
Okay. It is not at all.
And we're 6 likes away from the Spidey Bomb. Hit the like button. I'm going to trust we're going to hit it. It's almost lock time, so I'm going to say it. I trust you guys. And Jazz Chisholm's going to be hitting a bomb today. Even if you don't want to stack Miami, play this guy as a one-off. He's my favorite tournament play on the slate.
He's doing it. He's got the swag. Reese Hoskins is going to hit a bomb in the chalkiest call of the day. Reese, my boy. Hoskins. Unless Goldschmidt is somehow playing at some point, in which case I want him to hit a bomb.
Well, he'll be playing later if you're counting all the slates.
He's going to hit a home run as well.
My single entry FanDuel team is maybe my favorite lineup I've made all year. So without a doubt, I'm going to finish last place in this contest.
That is kind of how it goes. Yes, that is a thing. But let us know. I'm kind of intrigued. B. Scott says, Roth, you went to Mississippi State and you didn't know that? No, my friend, I did know that. I did know. I did know the Bayou Bengals. I just don't really follow college football. So, okay, here we go. DK Cheese Castillo Gary. Okay, maybe that means gray. Maybe it means Gary.
I'll assume that he means gray. I'm not playing gray. Okay, sure. I mean, sure, but personally, I would not play gray.
Okay. C. Goddard says, TJ, FanDuel GPP, is Bryson Stott with Jazz okay if I'm stacking the Phillies?
Yeah, it's a 3-game slate. Anything in a stack's okay.
Okay, great. He did mean gray, indeed, Cheese. So good work. Okay. Hey, I've got a quick little weather. We're roughly on the lock. So quick little weather. Cheese, you playing any golf? TJ, you playing any PGA, either of you?
So anytime there's a milli maker that's real cheap, I always put one in early in the week because then the possible winnings tab is just so exciting for so long. I'm like, oh, look, I'm probably going to win. I read that as probable winnings. I'm like, I'm probably going to win $1.7 million. Probably.
That is absolutely the right take. Like that's the move. TJ, you playing any golf?
I haven't actually looked into it yet. I might put in one lineup just for fun, but
put in one and look at the possible winnings tab.
That's a good idea too. Tab. It's I got a busy weekend coming up. Got a big, really big weekend for my website, setting up some interviews and some business proposals, stuff like that. Then it's also going to be it's my bachelor party on Saturday.
Oh,
I'm getting married in August, and it's my bachelor party on Saturday. So the summer of bachelor party continues and concludes with mine here. So yeah, I haven't looked into it yet, but yeah, I might throw one in for fun.
Can I ask what your bachelor party plans entail, or is that a little too private? You want to keep that on the down low?
No, it's all good. We're keeping it pretty tame. So we're doing a 4-man scramble golf tournament in the morning we have a really nice par 3 course in my city. It's like pretty difficult. It's good, and my golfer, my friend group ranges from scratch golfers to 40, 50, 60 handicaps. So we figured par 3 course is kind of the best to do that. We're going to do a 4-man scramble. And the format is if you shotgun a beer on the tee box, you get to move up to the ladies' tee to hit your shot.
Oh, that's a great rule.
It is, right? And we got like 3 or 4 of the guys used to work at this golf course when they were younger. So we're like setting up stuff for closest to the pin and stuff like that. And then come back to my place for like a little recoup time, maybe some video games, and just get out of the sun basically. And then drinking games all night and stories, and then brunch in the morning.
Oh, that sounds like a fantastic time. So enjoy it, and congratulations to you.
Bachelor parties in Canada sound wild.
Well, he can't tell us all the details.
My bachelor party, we went out and ate pizza, and then went I want to do something really wild, so we watched South Park all night.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't talk about
Jesus is Canadian at heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to run through the later FanDuel slate quick because we still have those 3 games that are happening after. So on that slate for me, by far my favorite pitcher is Luis Castillo. I like him a lot better than Gallen, Gray, Gonzalez, Heasley. I definitely wouldn't touch Heasley, but if you want to play Gallen, I understand, but I think he's going to pick up quite a bit more ownership than Castillo. And so that's why I'd rather get to Castillo there. On a 3-game slate, when you got guys that similar, I would just rather go to the one who's lower projected. So we actually have a Gallen lower right now. So if that holds, you can go there. But personally, I like Castillo as my favorite pitcher there. In terms of bats, hold on here. My apologies. Yeah, screw it. In terms of bats, my thing's not loading, but San Francisco is by far my favorite team to target with bats. They're my favorite stack. bar none all the way through the lineup. Yes, you got some pinch hit risk, but Heasley's a little bit of a reverse splitsy guy anyways. So if you get a righty in the lineup, they're probably not going to get pinch hit for, and I'm going to like them quite a bit in the stack. You can really just stay in that KC and San Fran game, and that's kind of, I think, where your two top stacks are going to be. And then Minnesota is the other team I like as well. Byron Buxton is probably your top hitter on the slate.
Okay. I'll add in that San Francisco game. I want to do some research on this, but it seems like with the marine layer being such a big impact as you get through the night, because that moves in the evening, those afternoon games in San Francisco almost have to score higher in general than the night games, because in the afternoon you don't have the impact of the marine layer and that dense fog. Cheese, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, I know we've seen that in like with some Angels games that have come in the afternoon. Is it similar anywhere on the West Coast? Or
it is basically, if you're along the coast on the West Coast from Seattle down to LA, I guess that matters.
Then yeah, that absolutely makes sense to me.
Yeah. So I kind of somewhat sneaky like the weather there. Okay, anything you want to add about that kind of middle slate or later morning slate, Cheese?
No, like there's just not that much there. Like I agree. Like you don't need to overthink it with pitcher on a 3-game slate, like to, whatever. And I'm also less worried. Like I'm always worried about Giants pinch hit risk, but there's only one lefty in the bullpen. So the timing has to work out just terribly for them to lose too many guys to pinch hitting. I mean, it'll still happen. It's the Giants and they're magical in that way, but,
I also started Jock Peterson against the lefty yesterday.
Yeah. So who knows? But my lean is to just say, I'm not going to worry about pinch hit risk at all. And I agree. It's basically the Giants plus Buxton is the slate there.
Okay. To be perfectly honest, the only player on the Giants I would worry about for pinch hit risk is Luis Gonzalez. And that's,
you're not
again
playing him anyway in a 4-man stack, probably.
Yeah, and like he's leading off today, and so like that's maybe why some people would get to him. But I think he's the most likely to get pinch hit for, but you also don't really need that salary. So,
okay. All right, let's get out of here. I do want to say we've got a kind of a new outro where I don't see like our producer Steven and everyone else. So Steven, if you could hang out with me after the show ends so I could talk to you. I want to go through some tech things real quick, but with that, let's get on out of here. So for TJ, for Cheese, and for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys, we appreciate you. We love it. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crunched.